People would be interested in maybe seeing a bit of progress on my newest project, a 42 Ford 2N Warhorse model, and I figured I'd give you an update. I've got it in my garage here, and today we took the hood off it, and the grill, and the rad, the fan, of course, air cleaner assembly, and I pulled the steering column and the sector and everything out. I did that originally, started taking things apart to that point to have a look at the wiring, just because I know that previously it's been rewired by someone, and yeah, I mean, they didn't do a great job. The wiring gauge is all incorrect and the connections are bad, and it's just a nightmare. And at this point, I'd rather start fresh than try and repair that. But a couple of the issues I found so far, and the reason I took the column out, I got to take the shift cover off the top of the transmission, and I'll have to take it home to my shop, and I'll have to weld it up here, because as you can see, the shifter rides on a pin here. It sits inside that slot, and you can see that it's got some pretty severe wear on it, and unfortunately, there's a pretty good shot of it there. It's really badly worn, the cover itself, so I'll have to TIG weld that closed and then grind it back open again, and I'll have to put probably an oversized pin in here, because right now the shifter is really sloppy. Like it's very sloppy, and I'd really rather not have that be an issue when I do get it up and running here shortly. And then of course I pulled the sector and everything because I figured I'd lubricate all the surfaces while I had it apart, and then I'm also going to get a set of tie rod ends for it, as what I found is there is an absolute ton of play in the outer ends here. So I like to have steering that works. And I'll have to pull the back tires off it and pull the drums and axles here and have a look, because on this side here, which is our left side, I've got pretty good brakes. I mean, they do work, which is a big thing for an end tractor. But on my far side here, the right side, it's sitting awfully low, and I'm not hearing the brakes actuate very well. So it's a good time to pull it apart, clean everything, put a set of Sure Seals on it. Plus I'll probably clean up a few things and give a couple things a coat of paint. I'd like to straighten the grill out a little better, and probably straighten the hood up a little bit. I got one spot that'll probably need a patch. But yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. I picked up a whole bunch of newer parts for resistor assembly, and got a new coil for it. Redid the sediment bowl. A friend of mine, Kevin, gave me a whole bunch of gasket sets for it so that I could get it going, and I'll replace those and give them back to him, and get a few other bits and pieces, because I already know that it's going to need an exhaust, because it's pretty badly kinked down here behind the radius rod, and it's pretty soft overall. And for the cost of it, now's the time to do it. But the kind of interesting part about this particular tractor is it was converted to a standard style ignition system instead of the magneto and everything else that went with the Warhorse. However, this one has the Sherman Combination transmission. So it actually has an auxiliary transmission, bringing it, I believe, to, it's a 3-speed. So if I remember right, it's now at 6 or 7. Which is kind of cool. Of course, these tractors employ the Ferguson style 3-point mounting system, which somebody's made up a drawbar setup here for, it looks like probably moving trailers. So I'll have to get another upper, but that's not a big deal. Mostly because I'll just be putting a blade on it to do some work around here, but you know, for the age of it and being a Canadian tractor, it's not bad. It's got one little patch in this one fender here, and it's got a hole in the side of the hood. But overall, it's a pretty solid tractor. I'm pretty happy with it myself. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little walkthrough, and I'll give you guys another update at some point. Enjoy!